Hello everyone, welcome to Brilliant Botany. Today I have come up with the very interesting topic called defense mechanism in plants. See, we humans, when we come in contact with any pathogens or disease causing organisms, we have certain resistance power inside our body to fight against those organisms, right? But what if in case of plants? Do they have the resistance power to fight against those pathogens? Answer is yes, because we have already studied the resistant character of the plants and as well as the susceptible nature of the plants. So this resistant and as well as the susceptibility nature of the plants, as I said, it is an hereditary character. Today in this video, let us study in detail about the defense mechanism in plants. The moment when the pathogen or the pathogen propagules come in contact with the host surface, host plants, due to their hereditary characters, do have some of the physical and as well as chemical barriers to avoid the penetration of the pathogen. If at all the penetration occurs, host plants behaves in such a way that it results in the formation of some of the chemical and as well as the physical barriers. Okay, so in the defense mechanism of plants, we have two different mechanism which is present inside the plant previously and as well as which will be developed only after the penetration or after the attack of the pathogen. So here we call this defense mechanism have plants have been classified into pre-existing and as well as induced defense mechanism. Pre-existing defense mechanism and induced defense mechanism. Okay, so pre-existing defense mechanism means to say the defense mechanism which has been previously present in the host plants. Getting induced defense mechanism means here the defense mechanism has been developed in the plants only after the attack of any pathogens. So this is the difference between the pre-existing and as well as induced defense mechanism. And among these we have two different types again. One is structural defense mechanism and biochemical defense mechanism. Okay, so pre-existing defense mechanism have been again classified into structural pre-existing defense mechanism and biochemical pre-existing defense mechanism. Getting? Whereas in case of induced mechanisms or induced defense mechanism, the same two types are present here, that is structural defense mechanism and biochemical defense mechanism. Here the structural and as well as the biochemical defense mechanisms are developed in the host plants only after the attack or the penetration of the host plants. But here this structural and as well as the biochemical defense mechanisms are pre-existing in the host plants. So these are present even before the attack of the pathogens. This is the only difference between these two types of defense mechanism. Now let me explain you about the pre-existing structural defense mechanism in plants. Okay, here in the structural pre-existing defense mechanism, see, the first line of defense in plants exists on its surface. Getting? And also the pathogen to enter the host plant, it has to penetrate the epidermis, cuticle, cuticular wax and as well as some of the natural openings that are present on the surface of the plants. Right. So all these epidermis, cuticle, cuticular wax and natural openings are present before the onset of the pathogens. All these helps in restricting the penetration of the pathogens inside the host plants through them. Okay, but if the penetration or if the pathogen succeeds in penetrating the host plants through this epidermis, cuticle or through the natural openings, they have to encounter with the internal structural barrier of the host plants. Here, internal structural barriers are nothing but the host cells that are involved in preventing the attack of pathogen after the penetration. Okay, so we call them as the internal structural barriers. When pathogen succeeds in entry or the penetration of the host plants, it has to encounter with the internal structural barrier of the host plants. We'll study in detail about this internal structural barriers in the upcoming videos. The external and as well as the internal structural barriers that are present before the pathogenesis is called as pre-existing structural barriers or pre-existing structural defense mechanism of that host plant. Okay, now let us see what are those structural barriers that are present externally and as well as internally to fight against the attack or the penetration of the pathogen. The very first structural barrier is wax and cuticle. Wax and cuticle. So this wax and cuticle, you can say it is an external structural barrier. And now let's see how these barriers prevent the penetration of the pathogens. Getting the epidermis of any parts of the plant body will be made up of cuticle, right? So here this cuticle again it is made up of, it may be cutinized layer, okay, or it may be made up of wax layer, and even this cuticle may be made up of pectin layer. Okay, here this cutinized layer will be made up of fatty acids, long chains of fatty acids, whereas this wax layer will be made up of long chain polymers of aliphatic compounds. I'll tell you what are the benefits of these compounds that are present in these layers. Okay. See, due to the presence of the long chain of fatty acids in the cutinized layer of the cuticle of epidermis, since it is negatively charged, it creates the negative charge in the plants. Due to the presence of this negative charge in the host plants, it creates a barrier against some of the airborne spores. Airborne spores, or you can also call it as airborne propagules. Take up with the wax layer. In the wax layer, which is made up of an aliphatic compounds, so this aliphatic compounds prevents the retention of water on the host surface. Okay, and in turn it helps in the spore germination also. Getting? So this is how this cuticle layer, which is made up of three different types of layer, that helps in the avoiding the entry of the pathogen. There are certain pathogens which have capability of digesting the cuticle that is present on the epidermis enzymatically. Example, Monilinia fruticola. Here, these pathogens have capability of digesting the cuticle by enzymatic actions. Okay, so it can gain entry into the host of the cherry plant by digesting the cuticle that is present in the leaf tissues. But when we introduce the same pathogens into the some other plants, say for example, it has capability of digesting the cuticle of the cherry leaves. But when we introduce the same Monilinia fruticola into the ginkgo biloba plant, there they cannot digest the cuticles of these plant leaves. So this is why, because this ginkgo biloba plant or the leaf tissues of the ginkgo biloba has more amount of the cuticle comparatively with the cherry leaves. Hence the reason Monilinia fruticola can only digest the cuticle which is present on the leaf tissues of the cherry, whereas it fails to digest the cutin content of the ginkgo biloba leaves. Now we'll move on to the second structural barrier, that is epidermal layer. Look here, this epidermis is the first living tissue or the living cells which comes in contact when pathogen attacks to the host plants. Is it or not? And you might be knowing that epidermis are quite rigid or tough in nature. So this toughness of epidermis is mainly due to the polymers of cellulose, hemicellulose, organic compounds, suberin and lignin. Okay. Since the epidermal cells made up of cellulose, hemicellulose, organic compounds as well as suberin and lignin, they are quite tough in nature. And you can also see the deposition of silica in the epidermal layers or in the epidermal cells. So this silica provides protection to the host plants from the fungal attack. Okay, those epidermal cells which are made up of silica, or those epidermal cells which have the accumulation of the silica in their cells, they do have protection from the fungal attack. Getting? And if the epidermal cells are made up of suberin, or due to the suberization of the epidermal cells, that means to say those epidermal cells are accumulated with the content called as suberin. So this provides the protection from bacteria. Here, the suberin provides the protection to the host plants from the bacterial attack. Getting? And also we can see the functional mechanism, defense mechanism in the host plants. So functional defense mechanism. Functional defense mechanism in the host plants means you might be knowing that certain spores of bacteria or certain spores of fungi require the moisture content for the purpose of spore germination. If they do not get any moisture content in the host plants or the environment in which they live, generally spore germination will not take place. Getting? Making use of the moisture content, spore germination occurs in those bacteria and as well as in the fungi. But here what happens in the functional defense mechanism of the host plants or the host plants, to protect themselves from pathogens, they undergo this process, that is functional defense mechanism. Here what happens, usually the stomata which is present on the upper epidermis and as well as in the lower epidermis, they get open during the daytime and they are closed at the night time. So this is the general thing in the stomata. But what happens, to provide the protection to the host plants or to protect themselves from the pathogens, these stomata open during late in the daytime. That is when the moisture content is completely dried off. So during that time, this stomata gets opens. So since the stomata is opening during the late time, since there is no moisture content in that on the surface, this pathogen cannot enter through the stomata. Even though it enters through the stomata, infection tunes becomes non-functional because there is no moisture content in it. So the spores to get germination or to get entered into the host plants for the purpose of germination, stomata itself is dry and it cannot penetrate into the host tissue anymore. So this is what is called as functional defense mechanism, which is seen in many of the host plants. Now let me explain you once again about this functional defense mechanism. In the functional defense mechanism of the host plants, stomata opens late during the daytime. That is when the moisture content is completely dried, and due to the reason what happens, the infection tubes in that region becomes non-functional. This is not only the example for the functional defense mechanism. We have certain list of examples for the functional defense mechanism we'll study in the later videos. Now we'll move on to the another structural barrier, that is hydatodes. Okay, so hydatodes are the natural openings that are present at the edges of leaves. So what are these hydatodes meant for then? Hydatodes serve for the excess removal of water from the interior of the host plants. Okay, so this is the main function of the hydatodes. Since it is a natural opening, so they become an easy points for the bacteria or the fungi to get penetrated into the host tissue. Apart from these hydatodes, also we have nectarotodes. Nectarotodes are similar to that of the hydatodes, but hydatodes are present in the leaf margin, whereas these nectarotodes are present in the inflorescence. Okay. Here, these nectarotodes secrete some of the sugary substance that is called as nectar. And these nectars provides protection from the bacteria and as well as the fungi or any other pathogens, those which cannot tolerate this condition. Okay, this is how this nectarotodes provides protection to the host plants. You can also see that some of the hair structures that are present on the leaves and as well as the hairy structures can also be seen in the nectarotodes. So those hairs that are present on the leaves are called as trichomes. Hope you know it. So this trichomes provides protection to the host plants by pathogens through their hairy structures. So one best example I can give you for this is the groundnut varieties. So these groundnut varieties are highly resistant to the Cercospora leaf spot disease. Why? Because those varieties are having a very thick epidermis with thick cuticle and a smaller amount of stomata. Only few numbers of stomata can be seen on the surface of those groundnut varieties, as well as they have the trichomes on the abaxial side, and apart from that they have the compact palisade layer. So due to the presence of all these conditions in groundnuts, so those groundnuts are quite resistant to a disease called Cercospora leaf spot. Getting? So the thick cuticle, due to the presence of thick cuticle, certain pathogens cannot digest the cuticle. Okay, due to the presence of compact palisade layer, bacteria or any of the pathogens cannot penetrate into the host tissue. And also trichomes that are present on the abaxial surface of the leaves also provides protection by preventing or resisting the entry of the pathogen. I hope also you are familiar with the another type of cells called as lenticels. So lenticels, through these also the process of transpiration takes place, and that we call it as lenticellular transpiration, right? So these are the openings then, because through which the gaseous exchange takes place, right? So these lenticellular openings becomes the weak point for the pathogens to get enter into the host plants. And unless and until they are or their cork cells are suberized, so they have cork cells inside them, so these cork cells must be suberized. These suberized cork cells provides protection to the host plants by resisting the penetration of the pathogens. And apart from this, and also there must be a periderm formation. If the lenticels are absent with the periderm and as well as the suberized cork cells, they do not have any capacity to resist the attack of pathogens. Why? Because suberized cork cells are most important, that it provides the protection to the host plants from the bacteria, as I said earlier. Getting, and even due to the periderm formation in the lenticellular region, it also provides the resistance to the host plants or protection to the host plants. Hope you like this video. Please do subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon. Also never miss an update from me. So stay tuned. See you in the next video. Until then, take care.